Hello and welcome back to Arcanum of Steamworks and Magic Obscura. When we last left off, well, Virgil's back alive. Yay! And, yeah, we found the Panarii Temple. Now we can actually get in. Human priest, gnome priest. Yes, what can I do for you? Hello, and who might you be? Call me Hadron, acolyte of Panarii, and a local expert on Turkish archaeology. How may I help you today? Greetings, I'm Elissa. May I speak with you about a moment? Certainly. Tell me about your work. What would you like to know? Tell me about the objects you have here. Which one would you like to know? What's that, a skeleton's finger? Yes, that's the finger of Saint Manox. What? Who was Saint Manox? Saint Manox was one of the elders of the Panarii Church. A very, very holy man. He was the only man in the history of our church who was ascended by Nazdarin. That meant his body was taken directly from his life to the next. I see, and his finger. Why is that there? Legend tells of a time when Saint Manox was captured by barbarians. They were plundering the surrounding countryside. They were holding Manox for ransom. He told his people to refuse, so the barbarians threatened to cut off one of his fingers if he didn't comply. Manox calmly picked up a knife, told him that there would be no ransom, and cut it off himself. Oh, sounds like a hard man. Yes, he was when you needed to be. Is there anything else you need to know? Yeah. What's that glass device? We don't have any idea what it is. Sure is pretty though, isn't it? I guess. Anything else you'd like to know? What's the black gem? That is the Eye of Krakatoa. Really, it's a beautiful stone. No, I mean it really is the Eye of Krakatoa. When the council was banishing him, they put up quite a struggle. Somehow one of the monster's eyes got put out, and someone found it as they were cleaning up. A dreadful creature, Krakatoa. If you ask Alexander about it, who's been banished over the years, he'll tell you about the story. Are they for sale? No, they're priceless church artifacts. I wouldn't part with them for worldly riches. More general questions. What do you know about the remains of Nazdarin? Remains of Nazdarin? What would you like to know about them? Well, where are they? Housed in the old catacombs beneath the temple. First acolyte Alexander can direct you there if you have problems finding it. Have you seen them? No, and I would do anything for see those old bones of his. There's so many questions I could answer if I only had to look at them. When he died, how he died. I want to know if his skeletal structure is the same as common elves, or if prolonged use of powerful magics changed them somehow. So many questions. I've never been able to see them. Why, Hadron? You're the church archaeologist. Surely you... Yes, you would think so, wouldn't you, young lady? I mean, when the elders need someone to go digging into the dank carvings of the Bengal depths, who do they call upon? Or is it some fool, or a poor fool comes across a tomb sealed with a Gothican blood curse? Ring the bell for old Hadron. But why won't they let you see the remains, Hadron? I have no idea. When they speak of desecration and sacrilege, but the man is dead. D-E-A-D. I respect and cherish Nazdarin and what he taught us more than anyone, but I hardly think he'd be upset if I chipped away a piece of bone from his earthly shell. I see your point. I myself would love to take a look at them. Really? Are you a fellow archaeologist, my friend? Yes I am. Strictly freelance, of course. Yes. You do seem to have that particular look about you. Probably a little dirt under those fingernails, eh? Well met. And what interest do you have in the remains of this Nazdarin? I'm thinking of converting, but I need a little proof. I understand, my friend. Faith is a wonderful thing, especially when backed up by some good, hard evidence. Made a few notes over the years about the sarcophagus. Here we are. What is it do you know, Hadron? Let's see. Standard information. The stone is of the local area. There are elven characters naming it the final resting place of Nazdarin. The design is old elven, consisting of the latter end of the Age of Legends. Rune work is exquisite, though perhaps a little overdone in my opinion. Of course, I'm more of a conservative, but you haven't seen inside. Has anyone? far as I know, no one's ever broken the seal on the sarcophagus. Interesting. I'd really like to see what's in there, Hadron. Just how much would you like to see him, my friend? Very much. I see. Look, I'm an important member of this church. My face is well known. I can't exactly be running around defacing sacred church artifacts. But were I having to accomplish, we might be able to get in and out without anyone being the wiser. I'm listening. Tombs within the old catacombs, and the entrance to the burial room is well guarded, but about a year ago I was perusing pages of the old ancient texts, and within its pages I found an old illustration of the catacombs, drawn by its first keeper of the crypt. Apparently, here for his own use in navigating them. What does it show? All the connecting passages in the burial room were walled off soon after discovery, all except one. There's a passageway which comes up through the floor, so well hidden in the stonework it's been missed all these years. I've shared this information with no one. You and I are the only living souls who know this existence. That's fascinating. And to think I see your plan. Good. Here's what needs to be done. Enter the sewers through the grating just below the temple. When you've entered, you'll be in a small room. There's a crack in the wall that leads to the old catacombs beneath the temple. Enter them. And then you'll find yourself in a passageway. When it comes to an end, you'll see a door in the wall. Speak the word Crimson to it. It'll open for you. Though through that door is a passage that leads to a staircase. That staircase leads to the tomb of Nazdarin. Is there anything else they need to know? Once you enter the catacombs, you will see adjoining passages as well. Don't enter them. They're full of dark spirits and other creatures. Wish to avoid them, go straight through the door and up into the burial room. I'll remember that. Thank you, Hadron. My pleasure. Return to me whenever you, with whatever you find. If possible, bring me a piece of the skeleton. I'd enjoy it. Being able to get a look at it. Together, we'll see what old Nazdarin has to tell us. I'll return when I have accomplished this. You do that, my friend. Is there anything else? A few general questions. I must be going. Strange glass device. I have cracked tour. Finger of Mannix. Yes, what do you want? Greetings. Who are you, sir? Thin man in front of you is very properly dressed. Instead of the robes, he wears a finely made suit. A pair of thin gold spectacles across his nose features delicate, but his eyes belie a strength and body of character, as well as harboring a fierce intelligence. He regards you intensely. You might. I'm Wilhelm. Gunther Wilhelm. A pleasure, sir. What exactly do you do here? I'm the church historian. I have a variety of responsibilities here, from translations to document restorations, as well as authentication of any literary finds. If it's written, and it has to do with the Panarii, it's my job to know about it. Does that answer your question? Yes, and well met. May I ask you a few questions? What would you like to know? Tell me some of your work. What about my work would you be most interested in? What are you currently working on? Currently, I'm doing some research on an older translation of the Arcanum. I've found some interesting discrepancy, and I'm looking into... Discrepancies? What do you mean? There's a few differences in some of the passages I found this earlier copy. I'll give you an example. The Arcanum was read today refers to our order as the Panarii. The word Panarii in the Old Tongue means light servant or follower, but in this older copy I'm studying, we are referred to as the Panres, which means defenders of the gate. Very odd. I see. Anything else? A few minor things. I'm working on the translation. Perhaps it's something we can speak of later. Of course. There's a statue in the courtyard. Who is that? That's the statue of St. Mannix, one of the early elders of the church. Why was he made a saint? St. Mannix was the only person reputably to have ascended. That is, the spirit of Nazdarin appeared and took his body from the plane of existence to the next. You say reputedly, Gunther. You do not believe. There is no doubt in my mind that Mannix was a very holy man. My belief in an inconclusion of circumstances does not invalidate the fact that regardless of how you might reflect on my own faith. Were there any eyewitnesses to the event? There were two eyewitnesses to the ascension of Mannix. One was an elf named Rondar, the other was, what was his name? Conhua, I believe. Their accounts of the incidents were both almost exactly the same, and both were beautifully written. A few more questions about Mannix. What else do you know about him? Almost all records concerning the life of the great saint have been lost over the years. Very little known about him, or what he did before he was taken. Of course, there's the usual insubstantial accounts of miracles, and of course there's Alexander. What do you mean? What does Alexander have to do with him? You haven't heard? He almost never speaks of it. The man has enough humility for all of us. Alexander is a direct descendant of Mannix. His family has held the position of first acolyte for the last 1,500 years. I didn't know that. It's quite a legacy. Yes, it is. There's no better man to bear it. Alexander is a saint in his own right. There's few men I respect, my friend. Alexander is a noble soul. You know anything of him? No, tell me. Alexander hasn't always been with us here at the temple. You see, the first acolyte's role in any Panarii temple is spiritual leader and warlord. Symbolically, he has to assume the role just as Nazarene did so many years ago. Most acolytes go into this very lightly. They might entreat the local constabulary to train them in basic combat techniques. Not so Alexander. What do you do? Alexander left us for 10 years and studied with the most feared and respected masters in several combat disciplines. For his pilgrimage, he traveled to the Vendigroth Waifs and lived there, alone, until he thought himself ready to assume his post. If you know nothing of the Waifs, know this. There is no more terrible place in all of Arcanum. So he's a skilled warrior. There is not a more dangerous man in all of Caledon. He's very well versed in 2 or 3 of the magic colleges as well. And all of us who are Panarii elders, the temple who hasn't been in safer hands since it's been the great saint himself. A few more questions about your work. Question about the remains of Nazarene. What would you like to know about them? What do you know about them? Me? I know very little, save for the documents we have associated with the discovery, and a few research documents about the sarcophagus itself. Hadron, the archaeologist, would have more information about the specifics. Do you think they're authentic? To tell you the truth, I really don't. I've done a lot of research on the engraving of the sarcophagus, and everything seems to be in order. It just seems to me that it's all very convenient. I mean, who buried him? We have no records of that. There's no doubt an elf of his stature would be given an elaborate burial, but who did it? We don't know. Do the church registers say who discovered them? Yes, let me see. Here we are. Elf's name was Quahan. Wasn't the person who witnessed the ascension named Quahan? Why, yes, at least the same name. Let me look at the years. Discovery of the remains happened within a few years of the ascension of St. Mannix. Never realized that. You're correct. Or it might very well be the same person. Well, don't you find that strange? Perhaps a little convenient. Well, I'm very curious about this whole affair, my friend. What is your real interest in this? Now, while we were told that the archaeologist would be a little more set in our ways, Wilhelm here would be more open-minded. It's a long tale. I see. You're telling me that you are the sole survivor of the IFS Zephyr blimp crash? Yes. Gunther is silent for a long while. Then a slight smile comes over his face and he takes your hand in his. I was wondering when you were going to tell me. I've been looking for you for such a long time, you know. The rumors abroad, and we've heard you might be come calling. I'm so very glad you decided to put your trust in me. Thank you, Gunther. I really need to see those remains. Listen, my friend, not everyone here is sympathetic to your cause. Hadron, the archaeologist, is the one you need to speak of. But be very careful. He's an old and loyal friend, but belief in you will come slowly for him. He would be the best source of information regarding the remains and how you might be able to see them. But tread lightly. Subterfuge might be necessary. I'll remember that, Gunther. Thank you for your help. No, thank you, my friend. Return here when you've seen the remains and tell me what you find. I may be able to help you once you know what it is you're looking for. I will, Gunther. Goodbye. Let's see, is there anyone else in here? Some passages. Oh, there! What business have you here, friend? Just wondering where this door led to. This leads to the tomb of Nazarene. I see. Might I go take a look? I'm sorry, but only people besides church elders allowed to see the remains of the Panarii brothers. and sisters are on pilgrimage. We haven't seen one of those in quite a long time. Oh, I'm on a pilgrimage myself, just to see the remains. I'm sorry, but you don't wear the pilgrim's robes. I don't appreciate being lied to, stranger. I recommend you be on your way. Good day to you. I'll take my leave. Robes, eh? Yeah... I was wondering the likelihood of, finding a set here. Hold there, what business have you here, friend? I'm, here to see the tomb of Nazdarin. Oh. I guess, pilgrim robes is different than priest robes. Did you waste all of our bandages trying to heal me? For like no damage? Do you even have... Yeah, you don't even have any points in healing. Why were you trying to bandage me up? Let's see where this leads. My pleasure. Bless you. Oh! Dark Elves. Huh. Oh, they summoned that. I'm just gonna let them figure this out. neutral, amiable, courteous, neutral, neutral, and... courteous, okay. No one's trying to fight me. Is Virgil trying to heal the Earth Elemental? Ah. Okay, well, I'm gonna save in a separate spot here, because I'm not sure if I've just done something bad. See you next time, folks.